Here's our bus motor, guys. It's getting closer. Looks a little different than when it rolled in the door. So we got our sheet metal on there, all painted with single stage car paint, looking real sweet. Sandblasted that, epoxied it, and shot some single stage black on there. It's shinier than the average spray can. We elected to use the old fuel pump, so you know, that's on there. It was operating fine. So got a chrome dipstick there out of his other motor. Got it real tight in there. Got it spread out, like make them tight. And got a resurfaced flywheel on there. Got our M-play set yesterday. Got our seal back there. And we're ready for the alternator. It's getting cleaned up, all the sheet metal. I had to have them take that apart. That's soaking. And need some spray balm. Ran out of black paint. Got to paint the valve covers and the backing plate for the alternator, so I think we'll be okay. Got the mustache bar mount there. Got it bolted on. Got a bus block here. No Mickey Mouse oil pump job, so we're going off the original bus mounts, not the Mickey Mouse oil pump mount, as I like to call it. All our push rod tubes in place there. Got our cylinder tins on the bottom, cooling tins. Those are very important. You can step up and buy the later model ones that I think they're called the 211s for the buses. This guy didn't choose to do that. So it's a 1600. We shouldn't have that big of a heat issue. It is in a camper, so it will run hotter than in a normal car. But it does have a Super Beetle oil cooler and it has all the proper sheet metal. So I'm hoping that it'll be all right. So normally on a bus, I like to full flow the case and put an external cooler on it with the Super Beetle cooler or with a fan. And that extends the life quite a bit on a bus motor. But we didn't do that on this one. Stockers, it's not as critical, but it will make a stocker live longer too. So anytime you can cool the oil, you're way ahead of the game. So that's where we're at today. We're going to try to get this installed in the bus. He's in a sort of a hurry. He's wanting to get out of town next week. Head to Colorado, do some music festivals. Picked up a sweet set of K-Rons here. One looks like it might have been in some sort of fire or got left in a soaker. I don't know what happened there. So I got a little discoloration on the bowl area. But other than that, they look pretty nice. Have one little issue with one of the heads, has a dowel pin in it. And I couldn't get the dowel pin out, so I'm going to have to put some Dykem on here. We'll put our gasket on there and have to drill a dowel pin hole. These empty manifolds don't come with a hole in them. Stock Volkswagen heads usually have dowel pins, so that carburetor looks pretty much new. So these are supposed to be low mileage. Got to take some of the brass fittings and stuff off. This guy was pulling a vacuum out of this, I guess, for some power brakes or an automatic. I'm not sure which, but you never want to pull a vacuum like that on a K-Ron motor. You want to pull it in the center of the balance bar that goes between the carburetors. Pull it in the center of the fan housing. When you pull the vacuum from one carburetor, it can affect the signal that's going to the carburetor if you're on your brake pedal a lot and stuff. So, little tip there. This guy's got the air cleaners all tricked out for breathers and stuff. So, pretty decent set of K-Rons. He paid $275 to the door for those. I tell people all the time you can find them. You know, he was stressing and thought they were a lot of money. K-Rons are a deal, brand new. I think they're $450 for a brand new set. I had to do a little work to this linkage. Again, it's not stock linkage. I really like the bone stock setup, you know. This trickery stuff, it just everybody changes the linkage. I don't know for what reason, you know. The stock stuff works really well, but this had CPS, the expensive stuff on there. The spring had gone bad in the center pull, Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. This is the center pull setup they use that had as an internal spring. So I'd take this apart and take the spring out of here, and I got it operating freely now. And we'll just incorporate a spring onto the linkage somewhere on the carburetors. This has a little set screw that you can adjust to sit on the case to make the linkage level or curved or however you need it. So I still prefer the stock Cadron stuff over that, but I guess if you're into the gadget stuff, that's the cool stuff to have. So more stock, the better it is, I say. So anyway, there we go. We'll get that in there later. We'll do a little fire up video on this one. Had to bring some oil today and get a can of spray balm, and just a few little finishing touches. Valve covers need to be painted, and some tins need to be put on. But we're looking pretty good on this one. Our in place ended up at 5 thousandths in play. I'm out of shims. I've seen somehow I have all 10s. So if there's any Volkswagen guys out there that need some 10s and got some smaller shims, let me know. I try to use the original shims. I'm getting a little low though, obviously. With all 10s, I can only make a 30 pack. Usually a motor takes 3 shims, typically. If you got less than 3, you more than likely have an aluminum case and you didn't correct the issues with it, and that's why you only have 2 shims. There's no float in the crank. With an aluminum case, you have to do some clearancing to get the crank to move in the case. Some of those little stupid things that cause you issues. But anyway, a good number to start with on those shims is 26. With 3 of the shims together, 26, 25 will usually give you anywhere from 4 to 5. And that's we ended up with 5, which is good on this motor. I look for 4 on a brand new motor if everything's brand new, the block and the crank and all that stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at. We got a little middle of the road header for this. It should be okay. And I guess this is the install kit. I told him to get a kit. The clamps down here, he didn't pick those up. So I have some of those in stock. I'm sure they told him that it came with an installation kit, and that would be this. That consists of 2 gaskets, 2 preheat gaskets, and the preheat bolts, which are totally unimportant to us. I use the metal gasket. I never use a fiber gasket because they don't hold up. The metal one works just great. If you're not having a wildly ported head, use the stock metal gasket. It seems to do the job quite well. But down here, we're going to need to get a clamp kit for the heater boxes. I think I got some of those in stock. But back to the header. This is pretty much what I consider the least that you can get away with. Recently, I built a motor for the Porter project, and I got forced to putting on that header on his car, and I hate it. That's the biggest piece of shit that MP makes, as far as I'm concerned. This is about the most restriction you can put back there. If you're gonna not go better than this, you might as well just leave the stock muffler on it, in my opinion. There's no advantage with a canister type muffler like Greg's got. It's just a horsepower killer. I would beg to differ that the stock Volkswagen muffler would make more horsepower than that exhaust system would. This one here has a small collector on it. This is sort of a copy of the old S&S style header. This is what they call a non-merge type. It is, however, decent. It's better than a stock muffler, and it will give you a little bit of performance. This exhaust system, some Cadrons and an 09 distributor, is the package that we used to sell to people with buses when I worked at Scooter, and it'll pep it up quite a bit. We're going to use a single quiet pack on this. If I had more time and he had more money, I would build an exhaust like I got on my blue car, but that muffler is 24 bucks, and by the time you fire the welder up and buy the pipe and all that, you got to charge them something to make all that. And the quiet pack's just cheaper, easier to open the box and bolt it on, if you know what I mean. So I have the same type header on my car, and I think that's one of the things that's holding my car back right now. It is just a 1600, but it sort of runs up and stops. Usually that's the exhaust or the valve spring, and I know the valve springs are good. So the next little experiment I'm going to do is I need to pick up a 1 5/8" merged exhaust, and I'm going to pop it on there. Put some J-pipes on there with a good merged exhaust, and I think we're going to see some horsepower increase for sure. I've never actually, I've been getting away from this type header and just using the merged exhaust, but of course that adds a couple $100 to the engine build. But it also adds 20 horsepower, so you know, my calculations, 15 horsepower at least with the merged exhaust. You're able to take advantage of the headers and the jet combinations and everything. Just when you got an exhaust like this, you're sort of limited to your tune-up to what you can do. So choose wisely on the exhaust. You can spend a lot of money on exhaust. I know CPS has them, the Sidewinder, the A1 style. It can get as expensive as $700. But if you got an American car, you know, and you buy a set of headers for $300 or $400, and you buy some flow masters for a couple $100, and you buy some pipe, you know, you're right there around $700-800. And I guess that's where they get their, you know, pricing from. You know, they look at the market and what people pay for exhaust, and bam, that's what we pay for our Volkswagen stuff. But the quality is much different. You know, the CPS, I believe, is stainless steel. It's all TIG welded construction. It's got a very nice collector on it. I don't use those too often because they're pretty pricey. I just like the standard merged collector type exhaust. 1 5/8" seems to be my pipe of choice, the diameter. It covers a wide range of motors, you know. So we didn't do any port work at all of these heads. We left them completely stock. I just did a 3-angle valve job because of budget constraints. But I like to do some port work, you know. I like to open the port up over by the spark plug area there, relieve it in the guide area, and then do the bowls. And I found that, you know, increases the horsepower number quite a bit on a stalker. So, you know, you can definitely feel the power. All right, well, we'll get these carburetors straightened out. We'll get them all bolted on here, and get this bolted in the bus, and I'll give you a little video of that. So I hope everybody's doing good out there today. And yeah, it's a beautiful day here. Birds are chirping, sun's out, no clouds, and try to make the best of it. Yep, so that's where we're at. Trying to take it easy, and feeling poorly lately, real poorly. So little issues going on with the muscles. So new medicine time, I guess. Anyway, there we go. Here we got a rat with a tail over there in the grass. There's some people on YouTube that eat those. There it is. You're gonna think we'd have a squirrel problem with all these cats, but we do. These are pretty mellow cats. They just like belly rubs and head rubs all day. Oh boy. What's up, smokers? You feeling better? Yeah, you feeling better? You weren't feeling good when the YouTubers were here. Yeah, Anson was worried about you. I told him you'd eat some grass and get to feeling better. So there you go, Hanson. He's all better. There's Autumn. Got some cobwebs. And there's the feral cat. Let me see if I can grab her. Hey. Ooh. She's a little skittish, that one. Alright guys, that's it from the cat farm. We'll talk to you guys later. Gotta get my boat running. Do a cold start video on that. It's been all winter.